Thanks for being with us for 9 News at 5. I'm Shalima Maharaj. A Colorado town could soon become the first in the state to require wildfire mitigation around existing homes. Trustees in the town of Lyons have given that idea preliminary approval. Reporter Evan Krugel joins us now. And Evan, this would be a big and potentially costly change for homeowners.
Yeah, Shalima, Lyons, of course, has seen some close calls before, including the nearby Stone Canyon fire just 2 years ago. And while other Colorado communities have wildfire mitigation requirements for new construction, Lyons is considering going a step further and applying them to homes that are already there. People in the town of Lyons are no stranger to natural disasters.
Oh yeah. Lyons has grit. That was our big slogan after the flood, and I think it was accurate. I think we're a gritty, resourceful, resilient community.
Mayor Mark Browning knows another flood could happen, but it's something else he worries about more.
One reason, personal reason, is from where we stand in the last 5 years, I've been able to see 2 sets of fires, one coming over the hills from that way and one from those hills right out there, which is Hall Ranch. And so it's literally hits close to home.
It's why Mark has taken measures to protect his home.
We bought 4 tons of rock and spread it all around the edges of the house and everything.
Work that could soon be required in Lyons.
Right now, I think we have a majority that has said, let's go forward with this and see what we can do in Lyons.
Town trustees are considering a plan that would require everyone in town to create more defensible space outside their homes, including clearing out firewood, branches, and other combustible materials near the house, removing certain shrubs and junipers, and trimming trees to prevent the spread of a wildfire.
To me, it's just smart planning.
Similar measures are in place in communities across Colorado, but in general, they only apply to new construction or homes getting major renovations.
I don't believe that a single city or town has done to any substantial extent measures that apply to existing homes.
Mark knows there will be pushback, including who has to pay for it.
So we're going to try to do as much as we can to not just put the onus solely on homeowners, but to share the burden financially and labor-wise and everything else.
He says it's still unclear how much homeowners will get or how much it could cost certain people. Trustees will now hear from community members on September 3rd before formally drafting and voting on an ordinance.
It's not going to make Lyons fireproof, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Mark knows this community is strong and believes this plan can help keep it that way.
I don't want to rebuild it down again.
Now, if this passes, Mark says homeowners would likely get at least a year to make those changes. But how those rules would be enforced and what would happen if a homeowner doesn't comply has not yet been decided. That'll all get sorted out before that initial ordinance is voted on at some point this fall. Shalima?
It's really interesting. It's going to be interesting to hear what the residents have to say as well. Has this been attempted anywhere else?
Yeah, a couple of communities have tried this in the past, Boulder and Vail most notably. Both of those communities ended up shooting down the idea after hearing pushback from people in those cities. What's interesting here is Lyons right now has a 4-3 majority in favor of this idea. So one of those trustees will have to hear something they don't like from people at that September meeting and potentially change their mind for this not to move forward.
A story to keep watching. That's our Evan Krugel reporting for us tonight. Thanks so much for that, Evan. Well, let's take a live look outside right now. Another hot day, but the thunderstorms this afternoon should help cool us off. I know, Corey, we've been talking about that cool off coming and some of the storm systems making their way in. What can people expect?
Yeah, those storms that came through Denver really cooled us down, but it's been a rough ride here across the area as we have large hail being reported. We have flash flooding and damaging 70-mile-per-hour winds across the area. You can see on radar here, the storms are just about through the metro area. We still have one storm right here at DIA. We have had stalling flight operations there all day long, so we're likely going to see delays mounting well into the night, and now those storms are moving off to the north and to the northeast. We'll keep rain chances in the forecast all the way through midnight tonight. You see the Denver, the Colorado Rockies forecast here highlighted in the Denver forecast going through the evening. We don't have high rain chances here, but at least a sprinkle or a gusty storm could come through during that game. But otherwise, look at the temperatures. Man, that is comfortable there for some baseball tonight. We haven't seen a cozy game like that in quite some time. Tomorrow, the heat's going to be back. We're going to be into the low 90s once again across most of the Front Range and the Eastern Plains. Mountain towns and foothills mostly in the 70s and 80s. Some highs in the 60s there in Summit County tomorrow. Your forecast here in Denver as we go through the week, we're going to have a few more hot days. And look at that, we have rain chances in the forecast every day this week. So I'll detail that coming up in the full forecast. Shalene.
All right, thanks so much for that, Corey. Well, Colorado Parks and Wildlife is reporting the 4th bear attack in this state this week. They say it happened around 8 o'clock last night in Jefferson County. A man in his 60s was walking towards the North Fork Trail parking lot after fishing when a bear knocked him to the ground and bit his legs. The victim's friends were able to frighten the bear away. The man was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials say he was not carrying any fish with him at the time of the attack. CPW, meanwhile, says the bear was found and euthanized early this morning. There were 3 other attacks this week in Steamboat Springs, Eagle Vale, and Aspen. This is the 6th bear attack so far this year. Well, Denver police are looking for a driver involved in a hit and run overnight that seriously injured a pedestrian. It happened during a large gathering in a parking lot near 48th and Calumet just before 2 this morning. Police are looking for the person driving this 2003 to 2007 Chevy Silverado. The license plate is unknown at this point, but the truck has a gray cab, a black truck bed, blue tailgate, and mismatched driver's side wheels. They believe the person that they are looking for is a 25 to 30-year-old man with dark hair. If you have any information, call 911 or Denver Police. Well, an update on a massive power outage that left 10,000 customers in the dark in Boulder County last night. Yesterday, Boulder Fire Rescue said in a statement on social media that they were aware of outages throughout the city tied to a small electrical fire near Kohler Reservoir. They said it was inside an electric vault underground and was contained last night. Well, after a long offseason, Broncos football returned to Empower Field to host the Green Bay Packers for preseason Game 2 last night, but it wasn't as pretty as the team's first preseason game. Most notably, Bo Nix played for the first time since breaking his ankle last season. Heartbreaking to remember.
It was just very smooth, very easy to get back out there and go. And honestly, the other 10 guys in the huddle made it pretty easy for me as well. And just going out there and doing my job and treating it like a practice rep. And the most difficult part was, not preparing a whole lot for a preseason game because of the time constraints. And, you only get a day or so. And so that was the toughest part, is just getting my eyes in the right spot. And that was the mental challenge. But I thought physically it was pretty easy.
A little light in all of this as well, a special moment before last night's game. That's Brody Herbst getting a ball from Pat Surtain pre-game. His mama shared this story with us, saying it was his first ever Broncos game. Amazing. They were at the game to celebrate his upcoming 7th birthday. Happy birthday. And she shared these photos, saying that he comes from 4 generations of Broncos fans. The handoff continues, a fan favorite tradition of Surtain's, handing off a ball to a young fan before every game.